Hello, it's voiceover Simon back with a video from a helicopter tour that me and my brother-in-law did in Hawaii, visiting the north coast of the Big Island of Hawaii using blue Hawaiian helicopter tours. If you listen carefully after this takeoff, you can actually hear me and Jeff laughing just because it felt so cool flying in the helicopter. Down where we were staying near Kohala, it's a lot of old lava flows that have broken up into pretty sharp, jagged rocks. It makes for a pretty barren and dangerous looking landscape. You can see the little oasis of the resorts over by the ocean where they've got all the irrigation to grow the grass on the golf courses and make it nice and green. Then you can see off to the right side of the helicopter, it's a lot of scrubland and almost looks like eastern Washington but sharper. But as we head north, you'll see a dramatic change to lush greenery, even rainforests. As we approach this ridgeline to get across to the Kohala region of the north coast, you can see the change start happening as it gets greener, and then the other side of the ridgeline it pretty much becomes rainforest and big grazing pastures. You find lots of cows, and I also thought it was interesting just how much we scud run the clouds to go over the ridge to the other side. My fixed-wing pilot senses were going crazy at times because we were flying into rising terrain under a low ceiling, but it's a difference flying a helicopter. You could have just stopped in one place and turned around 180 degrees anytime you wanted to. So a lot different capabilities they have. Coming up down here on the right, you'll see this little white ball on a structure, and it's a radar antenna that apparently is the Kohala weather radar. That was pretty neat flying really close to it and looking at the facility from the helicopter. really utilizing the Class G airspace at or below 1,200 feet AGL, clear of clouds rule for the weather minimums, because we are just barely staying clear of the clouds. Made for a really awesome looking flight. Really good example of the rainforest is coming up down here in the lower right. There was just an incredible variety of awesome looking trees in these little groups in the rainforest. I mean, I don't know what any of these trees are. It just looked very prehistoric, very awesome. So here we're coming up on our first good view of the cliffs of the north shore of Hawaii. These are famous for how beautiful they are. They average like 1,000 feet tall. You'll see a lot of them have giant waterfalls cascading down them. It is a really cool sight. The helicopter ride is expensive, and it was worth every penny. There was a lot of extremely beautiful views here, and you'll notice I skipped the clips around, and that's because I was holding my phone and the Insta360 at the same time, and a lot of time I just blocked my own shot by having my right forearm in the way of the Insta360. So that's why you see some shots fade from one to the other, because I edited out my own arm. I also opted for no music in this video because I think the helicopter sounds super cool. Here's another time my fixed-wing pilot instincts were screaming as we fly into a canyon that's covered with clouds. So we're flying into a rising train with a cloud cap over the top of us. So in an airplane there would really be no escape since it's so narrow, but in a helicopter you can just stop. of these waterfalls have names, and I have decided that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce them, so I don't embarrass myself. So we have the waterfall coming out of the clouds from on top and then going past us down to the ground below us. I mean, it must have been over 1,000-foot tall waterfall. This was really an incredible sight. When we come back here, again, I would love to drive up to the ends of these trailheads that hike up and down into these valleys and go visit, one of these beaches in between this rainforest valley. They look really beautiful from the air, and the hike seems challenging, but like it would be a lot of fun. Some incredible views. Coming up here, you'll see Jeff motion for me to hand him the camera so he can hold it. He then proceeds to do the best camera work of the entire video for the rest of the trip. I wish I would have asked him earlier if he wanted to hold it over there, but I didn't want to be a pain in the ass to him while he was sightseeing. watching this footage again while editing this video. I just can't get over how beautiful these sites are. It was, of course, more amazing in person. Coming back over the heaviest part of the rainforest, and you get a good look here again at all the variety of trees in this rainforest and how cool they look from the air. Another cool geological feature that this hill has is cinder cones all over it from previous eruptions. There were better examples when we were flying over towards the water in the other direction, but you can see two little ones that we're flying over right now. Little hills with the caldera in the middle from a previous eruption. And just like that, the lush greenery gives way again to the barren wasteland of the southern part of the island. And coming up underneath us right now, you'll see this little rectangle, and that is an old foundation of a very old Hawaiian settlement of a building. And you can see these all over the place, where you just see the foundations left over from some of the really old buildings on the island. we're about to fly over this cool canyon that was left by a river that is no longer there. I guess if it rains really hard, sometimes it fills back up with water, but even checking a map, I couldn't see a name for whatever river might have existed at one point in there. Here we are on our approach to come back and land. Right in front of us on the right, past the intersection where the highway and this other crossroad meets, you can see Kingsland, the resort where we were staying. And where he's aiming is the helipad that's basically right by that intersection and was right across the street from our resort. We're getting close to the end of the video. I wish I could remember our pilot's name to give him a shout out. He was great, and if you're on the fence about doing one of these helicopter tours, I would recommend dropping the money to do it. It's worth the experience. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.